Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's regular press conference. Now I'll take your questions.
发言人好，中国日报记者提问。据报道，11月11日，巴基斯坦首。
On November the 11th, there has been an explosion reported near a court in Pakistan capital, killing 12 people and injured many. TTP claimed responsibility for the attack, was China's comment, and is there any Chinese casualties? China strongly condemns the attack and extends deep condolences over the loss of lives and sympathies to the injured and the families who lost their loved ones. We've learned that there were no Chinese casualties so far. China resolutely opposes all forms of terrorism and will continue to firmly support Pakistan in combating terrorism, maintaining social stability, and keeping its people safe. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。中新社记者提问：当前联合国气候
The 30th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is being held in Brazil. President of COP30 said reduction in enthusiasm of the global north is showing that the global south is moving. He added that China is coming up with resolutions that are for everyone. There are comments saying that China has exceeded or is on the course to exceed most of the pledges it has made, saving the Paris Agreement. Rather than developed countries, the global south is leading the way, was China's comment. 10 years on since the signing of the Paris Agreement, global climate governance is entering a crucial stage. China actively participates in global climate governance and firmly supports Brazil's presidency of COP30 in hosting the conference. Special representative of President Xi Jinping, member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee, and Vice Premier of the State Council Ding Xuexiang attended the summit and delivered remarks. He shared the guiding principles set forth in the fourth plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee and sent a strong message of keeping to the right direction, translating commitments into action, and deepening openness and cooperation. This had made contributions to the successful conference. Climate change bears on humanity's shared future, from global south to global north, developing countries to developed countries. We're all passengers on the same ship. Cooperation and joint effort is the only right choice. China is a down-to-earth doer in climate response. We have made carbon peak and carbon neutrality a national strategy, established the most systematic and complete policy framework, and built the largest and fastest growing renewable energy system in the world. China is among the worlds with the fastest decline in energy intensity. 70% of wind power equipment and 80% of PV components worldwide come from China, which enabled the cost reduction for global wind and PV power generation by over 60 and 80% respectively. At the summit, President Xi Jinping solemnly announced China's new 2035 nationally determined contributions covering all economic sectors and all greenhouse gases. This is the first time China put forward such an absolute emissions reduction target, which is a testament to China's firm resolve and maximum effort. China will work with all parties to abide by the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and make new contributions to global climate governance. Next one, please.
彭博社报道称，中国将不会为热带森林永久基金提供资金。这是巴西在 COP30 期间启动的一项基金。中方能否解释为什么不向其提供资金？
中方 China welcomes and supports Brazil to propose such an initiative on COP30. We expect this initiative will play a positive role. We urge developed countries to provide full capital support for developing countries in terms of preventing deforestation. Next one, please.
发言人好，环球时报提问。
It was reported that the Japanese government held the autumn conferment of decoration ceremony on November 11th and conferred the Order of the Rising Sun to Taiwan's representative in Japan, Xie Changting. Later that day, Xie said on social media that he will continue working for the friendship between Taiwan and Japan. What is China's comment? China has made clear its position on this issue before. The Japanese government took another wrong step on Taiwan by proposing and promoting the conferment to someone advocating Taiwan independence. China firmly opposes this. The Taiwan question is at the core of China's core interests. It bears on the political foundation of China-Japan relations and the basic credibility of Japan, and is a red line that must not be crossed. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against the Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. It is also the 80th anniversary of the restoration of Taiwan. China urges Japan to deeply reflect on its responsibility for the war crimes, abide by the principles and spirits of the four political documents, honor its commitments on upholding the One China principle with concrete actions, stay prudent on the Taiwan question, and stop sending any wrong message to Taiwan independence separatist forces. Next one, please.
Question from Bloomberg. Australia's
彭博社，澳大利亚情报部门负责人指责中国政府有关的黑客组织探测澳方的基础设施和电信网络。外交部对此有何评论？
is working for the Chinese government, interfering with Australian communications and infrastructure networks. Thank you.
Well, this Australian official you mentioned this year repeatedly hurled attacks at China, spread disinformation, and deliberately provoked confrontation. China firmly opposes this and has protested to Australia. It is hoped that the Australian official can stop making irresponsible statements and do more things conducive to the sound development of China-Australia relations. Next one, please.
A question from Folha de São Paulo.
中方表示，他支持巴西的热带森林永久基金。那么，这是否意味着中方将向其提供资金？
我所回答的。
As I've just said, China welcomes and supports Brazil to propose such an initiative at the COP30. We expect this initiative will play its positive role, and we call on developed countries to provide funding and support for reducing deforestation. Next one, please.
From PTI, just to follow up.
印报托，关于巴基斯坦的恐怖袭击事件，巴基斯坦塔利班已经为此表示负责。中方与巴基斯坦和阿富汗有一个三方的机制。最近，巴基斯坦和阿富汗之间的停战是由卡塔尔和其他国家来协调的。中方为此将发挥什么作用？
巴基斯坦和阿富汗都是中国的。
Both Pakistan and Afghanistan are close neighbors of China. We've supported these two countries to develop their bilateral relations and together defend regional security and safety, we will play a positive role in this regard. Next one, please.